Welcome back, future billionaires, to a blue collar billions classic. In this channel, we'll be covering books written by actual billionaires. Be learning from the lessons they learned as they went through their journey, the setbacks they experienced. So hopefully we can avoid some of those setbacks. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Today we'll be covering Mark Cuban in his book, How to Win at the Sport of Business. Business is a full contact sport, and it requires a certain approach if you want to be successful. Now, you guys know Mark Cuban as the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He's also a Shark Tank entrepreneur. He's a VC capitalist. He wears many different hats. But how did he get here? Overall, we'll be going through his journey, the lessons he learned, and at the end, we'll do some key takeaways and things we want to make sure we master on our own journey as we aspire to reach higher heights. The first thing you learn about Mark Cuban in this book is that essentially there's no shortcut other than hard work. If you want to be successful at something, you have to put in the foundation, you have to build that knowledge base. And in his case, he was studying 3 hours a day at minimum. He was spending 3 hours to 5 hours a day just reading books about the field that he's going to be in. He's trying to master. He taught himself how to code. He taught himself how to uh, explain software to the layman so they can understand it. He read the manual. That's something he really emphasizes, that while he was working at the shop, he was one of the few people who read the manual. So when the customer came in with a question, he was proud that he was the one who could actually help them. While he was working at this store, he did arrive headfirst into some adversity. He had a prospect that he wanted to close. He wanted to make a sale. Unfortunately, at that same morning, his responsibility was to open the shop. So his manager essentially forbid him from going to make that sale. But in true Mark Cuban fashion, he went to the prospect's house. He closed the deal, came back to the shop, check in hand. And you know what happened? He was fired on the spot. That was actually one of the best things that could have happened to Mark Cuban. This is when he learned that he could not just be an employee. His vision for what he wanted to do was bigger than what his manager and his higher up saw for him. How many of you guys out there have a vision for what you want to do in your career, but your manager or your higher up just doesn't quite see it? They don't quite understand. That's a sign that there are bigger things at play for you. Just keep working hard. Because of being fired, he decided to build his own company, Micro Solutions Inc. He built that company from the ground up, experienced some modest success. After 2 or 3 years, he had about $86,000 in revenue that he earned from running that company. Unfortunately, he learned a very valuable lesson here as well because he trusted the wrong person. His secretary at the time scammed him out of $83,000 of the $86,000 he made from building his company. This is when you realize what kind of character Mark Cuban has. Most people would tuck their tail, they would fold after losing so much money, everything they've built. What differentiates a winner from a loser is a loser doesn't get back up. A winner always gets back up and gets back in the game. And how quickly you get back in the game determines how much you're going to win. So this is also one of the fundamental tenets that you have to keep in mind. You're not always going to win, but that's okay as long as you don't stop trying. You're still in the game. He was able to get back to work, build Micro Solutions up to the point where he could actually sell it for $6 million. He learned his lesson He learned not to trust just anybody, and he also learned to pay attention to details. He brought all of these new characteristics into his next endeavor, which was broadcast.com. He built broadcast.com with his partner, Todd, who was a stickler for details. And that's where you have to get a partner that complements you, right? Whatever your weak side is, you need someone there to be able to look at that and make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. That's who Todd was for Mark Cuban. They built broadcast.com to a successful company and they sold it for $5.7 billion to Yahoo in 1999. Shortly after, he purchased a majority ownership in the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks, and the rest is history. So, a few key takeaways in rapid fire fashion before we get out of here. Number one, no shortcut to hard work. You got to put the work in 3 hours a day studying in the field that you're interested in. Number two, always think ahead. How can someone put me out of business? If one of the big companies came in, the FANGs, and they tried to take over my sector, how long would I have before I became extinct? And what can I do to protect myself against that? Find your edge, find your competitive edge. Whatever it is that you do better than everyone else, double down on that. Learn accounting, learn finance, learn statistics. Create a base of knowledge so you're ready whenever it's time. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. If you stay ready, you do not have to get ready. Lastly, feedback. You're going to fail, but you have to get back up. When you run into adversity, ask for feedback. Why is it that you didn't choose this product? What about this approach could I have done better? Ask questions. At the end of the day, everyone's a salesman. The better you are at selling, the easier it is for you to find a job and create a job. So this has been another Blue Collar Billions Classic. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other billionaires you guys want me to cover. See you guys later. Bye.